What's up, guys? So I know a lot of you have been wanting me to do a review between the T300 and the Fanatec CSL Elite, and then finally I've used this wheel enough to give my opinion and recommendation for this wheel or for the T300. So as you know, I've had the T300 I've had it for a couple years actually. As soon as the T300 came out, I got it shortly after. So I'm not sure how long, but I've been actively using it for at least a couple years. So with this wheel so far, the Fanatec, I've played Assetto Corsa, Gran Turismo Sport mainly, and a little bit of Project Cars too. So I wanted to try Assetto Corsa because Assetto Corsa is 100% compatible with the Fanatec wheel. And as you know, well, most of you should know, for Gran Turismo Sport, the Fanatec is not 100% compatible. You have to run it in compatibility mode, which is the purple mode on here, and there is a big difference between the two. So coming into this, I had no idea if there was a difference between compatibility mode and then running the blue mode where it's compatible. Like, what is the difference? What's the big deal? If the wheel works, it works. I was kind of thinking it didn't matter. Now I'm going to tell you there's a massive difference, and I'm not sure if this has to do with maybe the force feedback that's coming from Gran Turismo, or maybe it's just the way it's calibrated, but I will tell you that Assetto Corsa plays entirely different than Gran Turismo Sport. Now everyone knows that, you know, Gran Turismo Sport doesn't really, I guess, have as good force feedback as Assetto Corsa, in my opinion. I feel a lot more of the road when I play Assetto Corsa, but what I'm trying to tell you guys is that with this wheel, compared to the T300, there's a huge difference in what I'm feeling in the road. And this is how I see the wheel buying process, okay? If you go out and you buy yourself a Thrustmaster T150, you can probably pick one up for like 150 bucks or something, right? Something like that. If you get one of those, you can be just as fast with a T150 as you can with a T300 or a Fanatec. And you can also be just as fast with a controller. You really can. So if you're trying to buy this rim because you think it's going to make you faster, I don't necessarily think that's true. However, I think that with the Fanatec, this being the only rim, especially over the T300, I do think that with the Fanatec, because of the settings, to actually change the settings, to change the degree of rotation, to change that spring effect with the load cell brake, I think it does make it easier to become faster because you have more control of the settings. You can make it more custom to your liking to make it feel better, right? But it's not going to instantly make you a better driver. It's just going to give you more tools to become better quicker, if that makes sense. That's how I see it. So that would be my opinion. If you're trying to get faster, don't think that the wheel makes you faster. It's practice that makes you faster. You can be fast with a controller, a T150, T300, Fanatec, a TGT, any of those wheels you can be fast. But I do think that the tools provided with the Fanatec, how good that load cell is, the settings in the wheel, the quality, like the build quality, how it feels, I think that there is a little bit more to be had, and you can really become better because of those options that you have. So another question that I got was force feedback, like force feedback specific questions, like how is the force feedback opposed to the T300? I will tell you that the force feedback is definitely stronger on this rim than it is on the T300. Now, let me say this though, the T300 has plenty of strength. I mean, there's no reason why I would need more force feedback than my T300. I like my steering light anyway because I'm more of a racer that likes to have the wheel light because you can move it quicker. I don't like it too stiff. I mean, in Assetto Corsa, it is pretty stiff. It's a little bit different, but for GT Sport, I like it light. It's just easier to drive that way. At least if you're trying to get like faster times, I find it to be a little easier when it's light. So I had no problems with the force feedback strength for the T300, but the biggest difference that I noticed that is something worth explaining is that the Fanatec is much smoother, and that's the only word I can really use. It's just smooth. Like it sounds better when you turn. You don't hear it. If you guys have been watching my streams for a while, if you ever notice I would like take a turn like left or right, you would kind of hear a noise coming from the rim. You would just hear it. You know what I mean? Like, and some people say that's clipping, but that was annoying. And I was running low settings on the T300 too, but I would always hear something. With this, I don't hear anything. It's always just really smooth. Like, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. So listen right now. I just turned off the wheel, right? I'm gonna turn it on. And for those of you that have like a a T150 or a T300, you know that loud noise I'm talking about. When it spins around, it's like it makes that noise and like it bangs and it goes back and it bangs. Listen how smooth this thing is. Just listen. The mic's right here too. It's right next to it. You see that? I don't even know if you could hear it. It's so smooth how it rotates. And when you're racing, that's like what you hear, just that smooth, solid, well-built wheel. And it's amazing. Like, I really, really enjoy that. That is something that, to me, is a huge plus, because when you're racing and it feels really smooth, it makes it feel more authentic. It makes it feel more like a real wheel. And it takes away from that fake feeling with like some of the wheels that you have, like it's the quality is there. And I can't even wait to maybe test out like one of those F1 style rims, you know what I mean? That like with the actual quick lock where it's like a metal in the back, you know what I mean? You can like kind of push it like this and like snap it on. I bet that those even feel better than this. So in terms of the force feedback and how it feels, like how it feels in your hands, this rim is so light. I feel like you just feel more. Like you feel more bumps in the road. You can feel when you crash into a wall, when you like bump another car. It's just the quality is there. With this, you can change your degree of rotation through the wheel and it stays the same all the time. You can literally calibrate this wheel to certain cars. So like let's say you like the force feedback at 100, or you like the spring. There's like a spring rate in here, which means the SPR. So that means how much it's going to come back to center. You can change that. Some cars you might not like that. Some cars you might like that. And you can set all that stuff up, and then it sticks. It sticks for that. So if you like your your Group 4 cars to be a certain way and your Group 3 cars to be a certain way, you can set all that up in the wheel and you're done. After you set it up, you don't have to mess with it again. That is a huge plus for the Fanatec, because you're able to customize each car that you drive. Like an LMP car is not going to be driving the same as a Group 3 car. So I find myself constantly adjusting degree of rotation, the spring rate, the BRF and the brake force. I try using no ABS for fun. And if I'm using no ABS, I'll increase the BRF, so this way I'm less prone to giving it full brake. So this way I can actually brake with no ABS. And trail braking is much easier with the Loadcell brake. And that is the biggest difference, is the pedals. I think the pedals are really overlooked when it comes to people buying wheels, because everyone like talks about the wheel, but no one talks about the pedals. These pedals are amazing. Having that Loadcell brake and having 3 different adjustments for pressure. So that's how it works. With the Loadcell, you can take it apart, and there's these little rubber pieces that you can add or you can remove, and it creates more pressure when you're putting your foot on the gas, on the brake. So if you push it really, really hard, you can actually set it up to where you really need to wear shoes and you have to push that thing down pretty hard. So not only can you adjust that, doing it yourself by hand, you can also adjust it by this, the BRF sitting in the wheel. I run mine only at 40, but it goes all the way to 100. I mean, it gets to a point where you really need to mash that brake in order to be at full brake. And I think that helps a lot with trail braking, and it feels a lot more natural than the G27 pedals that I was using with my T300. And I did not like my T300 stock pedals at all. Like I just did not enjoy them. It's just very plasticky. Just didn't really like them. And same with the T3PA. I consider the T3PA kind of like the G27. I actually like the G27 pedals better than the T3PA pedals, but both of those pedal sets are still nothing in comparison with this solid feeling, metal pedals that you get with the Fanatec. I'm telling you that is almost a bigger sell than anything else. Between the pedals feeling so good and then the actual customization that you can do per car with this rim and how simple it is, I love that. But at the same time, for you guys that are just wanting a wheel that you just kind of plug in and you don't have to mess anything, or you don't have to mess with it at all, you just plug it in and it just works, the T300 is a really good option for you in that case. Because if you don't really like messing around with settings, you don't have to worry about it, you just want it to work, then yeah, just go with the T300, because you don't really have to do anything. But to me, I like being able to customize things, to be able to change it at will. Like, oh, this is kind of annoying. This doesn't really feel right. I like being able to do something instead of not being able to do anything. The only negative that I don't like about this rim opposed to the T300 is that the pedals, the paddle shifters, which I use all the time, the paddle shifters are further back. So at first, when I started using this, I had to kind of readjust my hands and race differently a little bit so I could reach the pedals. Or reach the paddles. That was a little irritating at first because I kind of like felt awkward. Like it almost gave like me a cramp in my hand because it was further away and I was so used to like it being so close. But now that I'm using it, that's not an issue. It's simply adapting to a different wheel. So I don't consider that a con. I'm just saying that if you are coming from a T300 or another Thrustmaster, I believe the paddles to be a little bit closer. So coming to this, it's going to be further away. So just keep that in mind that the paddles are a little bit further away. All right, so now we're in GT Sport, and I wanted to show you guys, talking about cons, I wanted to show you guys the con I was talking about with the Fanatec having to do with the oscillation before the race, like when it shakes back and forth like this, right before the race starts, or when the car is completely stopped. And this is what I was talking about, the only glitch. This is the only glitch that I found with this wheel, something that bothers me, but at the same time, it doesn't really affect you during a race, but I wanted you to see what I'm talking about. So this is just me in time trial right now, so let's click start. Now watch this. Hands off the wheel, right? Watch what happens. So right now, we're gonna stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop the car completely. Okay, and you can see a little light here, so you can probably watch. This is me stop, not moving. I'm gonna let go of the wheel. Look at that. You see how much it's moving? Look how fast that light's going. You see that? See, now you can stop it, and it's very easy to stop. Like I'm not really requiring, it's not really requiring much pressure for me to like stop this wheel. It's really not. But the point is, if I hold the brake down, hold it, and I just let go, it just starts moving right away. And I don't really understand why it does that. Once you start moving, now let's go ahead and go here with me. Let me move forward. All right, so once you start going, it doesn't do it. I mean, it's good. It's just driving like normal. Like I can just, be very easy with the rim and everything's perfectly fine with it. So it's something, I don't know why it does that in the beginning like that. What that issue is, I'm gonna start driving if I keep going like that. So I don't know what that is. Like I said, if you pause it, you see how it doesn't move. It's only when the car is completely stopped, or if you're like on an online race or an FIA race, whatever it is, and you're rolling, it'll start shaking like that. But then right before the race starts, it'll stop and it just completely goes away. It's only when it's completely stopped. So that is the con that I was talking about. There's nothing else that I find to be irritating. Everything else works perfectly fine. That's just a small irritation that I had that I want everyone to know about, because if you buy this and this happens to you, I don't want you freaking out or, having an issue and me not telling you about it. I just want to make sure that you know about it at least. Overall, guys, I really do think that the Fanatec is worth the money. It is more expensive than the T300. It's a little bit cheaper than the TGT, but I think it is worth the price. And the reason why they say that is because I spent $399 for my T300. It may be cheaper now. I think there may be like $300 now, or maybe you get even cheaper than that. I'm not sure. But I spent $399 on mine. Then I spent an extra $179.99 for the Ferrari Alcantara rim because I really don't like the stock rim that is on the T300. And also the pedals. I don't like the stock pedals that I got with it, which is why I used the G27 pedals. So by the time I actually customized everything and I got the rim, that's over $550 right there between the T300 and the Ferrari Alcantara. This bundle right here is like $500 for the wheel and the pedals, and then an extra $140 for the load cell. So you're looking at what, $640 plus taxes and all that stuff. You're under $700, like $670 or something like that, $680. So for all that, I mean, I'm spending roughly what, $100 more than it would have been for the T300 when I bought it. I mean, then you got the TGT that's over $700, maybe $650, $700. It's really priced right. I mean, the quality is there. It's really, really, really good quality. I love the metal pedals. I really, really do like. That's what makes it. The pedals are what make this set. It's between the pedals, the quality of the pedals, and that you can adjust the brake pressure. There's 3 different kinds of pressure levels that you can set with you know, actually just manually with like that rubber that's there. And I love that. So if you want to play with shoes or if you want to play with socks, you can adjust that. And it's a lot easier to do trail braking. And it's nice that you have that kind of option. Yes, you can mod the T3PA pedals that you have, or if you're using G27 pedals, you can mod those. But I just like that the overall build quality just feels really good with Fanatec, and I'm impressed by that. That's kind of where I'm coming from. As far as the actual wheelbase itself, I love the way that feels too, and the biggest seller for me is the customization, being able to change degree of rotation really quick from the wheel, being able to change the force effect settings, and really making the wheel feel the way you want it to per car very quickly. That customization to me is worth the extra money, and it's comfort, you know what I mean? And those, you have to pay for those kind of things, and I'm okay with that. For craftsmanship and for wheel settings and for materials that are all metal, I'm okay with spending more money for those kind of things. And I do think that's why it's more expensive, and I do think it is worth it in that aspect. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was fun making this. I've been working on this video slowly because I wanted to give you guys the most accurate opinion that I could, and I didn't want to come out with this video right away when I got it, because I didn't want to just play a couple games and then just be like, oh, let me do a review on this. I wanted to take my time playing it. I've already done a few live streams with it. I attended the FIA event and did all the FIA. I have been running faster times with this wheel. I am running a little quicker. I might be just improving myself as a racer, but I am racing faster. I'm not going to say that this makes you a faster racer, because I believe that practice makes you better. But I am being I am quicker with this rim. I have played Assetto Corsa, I have played Gran Turismo Sport, and I will say that I recommend this, and it is a very, very nice wheel. So if it is within your budget and you do want to get it, I think it's worth it. As long as you can get over that oscillation issue of it shaking back and forth before the race, I definitely think it's a go. Other than that, I really, really like the way it feels. I'm happy with it, and I wouldn't change anything. Especially if you were playing Assetto Corsa, if you like those kind of games, Assetto Corsa is amazing on this wheel. That is definitely something you should experience if you get this rim. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say. I wanted to let you know that I like it compared to the T300, but don't forget, the T300 is a good rim, so don't think that I'm bashing what I had or something like that. I really liked my T300. That's why I had it for so long. So it really just depends if you want to fork out that extra cash for, you know, better craftsmanship and for more settings, more options to kind of customize the car the way you want it to be, and also if you want a little bit more brake pressure, having more customization. That's really what it comes down to. So I hope you guys liked the video. I'll see you guys soon. I'll be doing a Assetto Corsa stream coming up. And there's also a different kind of Gran Turismo Sport stream that I'm going to be doing soon. And oh yeah, guys, I got a Discord. One of my a couple of my subscribers made a Discord for me now. So like that's that gaming Discord, so you can talk about this, you know, the GT Sport and other racing games and stuff. And we're going to share liveries on there. So if you have liveries that you want to post, you can join the Discord. I put the link in the description for you guys. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys.